From the Mile High City, Denver, Colorado. Tonight, the Pirates continue their three-city, 10-game road trip. It's the first of 4 against the Colorado Rockies here in Denver. And the Pirates begin play today, just 4 back of the St. Louis Cardinals in the National League Central Division. Those Redbirds are hosting the Cincinnati Reds. Milwaukee Brewers are visiting the Cubs at Wrigley Field. The Pirates 2 up on the Cubbies. And we're getting down now to the last 2 weeks of the regular season. Only 13 games remain starting tonight, Bob, against the Colorado Rockies. And the Pirates look to continue their domination against the National League West.
Yeah, the way they've been playing the Western Division has really helped them out a lot to kind of cover up the fact that they haven't been playing too well against their own division, the Central, but just dominating the West. You can see the record there, 23-6. I mean, you can't realistically ever expect to be any better than that or even put up that kind of a number. But all the stats are right where you want to be to dominate like that. The team ERA, the team batting average, everything good against this Western Division.
That earned run average, by the way, you saw that graphic there at the bottom, the second lowest ever by a team against the National League West. The Atlanta Braves had a lower ERA against the West back in 1994. Well, he is back. A.J. Burnett, he'll make his 3rd start since returning from the disabled list, looking for his 9th win of the year. Batman in Denver, Bucks, Rockies, coming up next. Of the 4-game series between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Colorado Rockies. And on the mound for the Pirates, it will be A.J. Burnett. He is looking for his 9th win of the year. He's 8-5 with a 3.15 ERA.
A.J. Coming back, we were hoping that he would be close to at least to what he was before the All-Star game, and I think that's what we're getting so far. If you want to nitpick a little bit, maybe the velocity isn't quite back, but he's still, as a lot of veterans are, able to figure out some way to still get those strikeouts, and that's what we're seeing from A.J.
He has struggled here at Coors Field in 2 previous starts, but he has not made an appearance in this ballpark in over 2 years. A.J. Burnett on the hill tonight for the Pirates. We'll have Bucko Baseball coming up shortly, but right now we'll go back to the studio, Rob King, and a game break.
Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota helps you get the most out of your drive. Just ask a friend who drives one. Toyota, let's go places. And by Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. Let's go Bucks.
A mile high here at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado, where the Rockies have struggled. They are a club that historically does play better at home than it does on the road. High octane offense helped out by these conditions, the altitude, but they are also under 500 here at Coors Field. They are 22.5 out. They're 63 and 86, and A.J. Burnett will try and take advantage of that. Though the Rockies, as is the case most years, strong offensively, and they have some promise, including John Gray, their former first-round pick just a couple of years ago out of the University of Oklahoma. He makes his 9th start. He faces this Toyota lineup for the Pirates. Gregory Polanco, Starling Marte, and Andrew McCutchen, a career .299 average here at Coors Field. Ramos Ramirez, it's cleanup. Then it's Neil Walker batting 5th with Francisco Cervelli behind the plate. Pedro Alvarez, Jordy Mercer, A.J. Burnett round out the starting 9.
We'll take a look at Gray's numbers on the season. He's a stuff guy, and really to be a first-round pick, most pitchers are. So he throws pretty hard. He's got a real good hard slider. That's going to be what he tries to get a lot of his outs are, especially the strikeouts. And Greg mentioned the offense he's got behind him. So if he does have one of those on nights where that slider is working, he's throwing the ball where he wants to, he can be tough to beat.
Pirates see John Gray for a second time this season. We check out the defense, and it is as good a defensive club as there is in baseball. Brought to you by Honda. We've got Gold Glovers and potential Gold Glovers everywhere. That guy has 3 of them. Carlos Gonzalez, Charlie Blackmon in center, Corey Dickerson in left, Nolan Arenado, and Jose Reyes on the left side of the infield, DJ LeMahieu, and Justin Morneau on the right side. Rookie Tom Murphy catching John Gray.
Hopefully Polanco can get the ball going here right away. As always, you know, going into the series, that your offense is going to have to put up some runs and support your pitching. It's a tough place to pitch in such a big ballpark. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to give up home runs, because the ball carries here so much better at altitude.
And of course, Clint Hurdle returns to Colorado. Clint Hurdle spent several years as the skipper, 2002 to 2009, was fired in May of 2009 as the manager of these Colorado Rockies. Now Walt Weiss a bit under fire as Gregory Polanco steps in. Homered here as a rookie last year. And rips this foul. Polanco had 2 of the 7 hits against John Gray at PNC Park back on August the 28th. Gray a no decision. Pirates won that game 5-3. Walt Weiss is in his 3rd season as the skipper, has another year left on his contract. And a bad-looking swing from Polanco. Sounding as though Weiss will be back for at least the 2016 season.
A classic way he started Polanco out, got the ball up and in on him. That makes Polanco commit to the swing earlier, and then he went changeup.
And in the air to left, Dickerson.
And then he just went right down the middle with an 0-2 pitch and got an out. Go figure. I mean, right down in the middle. Got away with that one.
His 9th start, John Gray, and 2nd time against the Bucks.
Keep track of those.
Keep track of what?
Down the middles. It's a good name for him, isn't it?
Yeah. Starling Marte. 0 for 9 this year against the Colorado Rockies, a 3-game series. But drills this to left field and clear the deck. Marte Parte crushed it. Starling Marte, who homered in yesterday's win in Los Angeles, hits number 18 on the year, and the Pirates off to a 1-0 lead.
How far did that one go?
Almost to the concession stand, beyond the left field bleachers.
If you like to see the big long home runs, you got to see ball games here. I mean, this is just absolutely ripped, and they just don't come down. I don't know what the official distance is going to be on that one, but it seems like that went 440, 450.
Starling Marte gives the Pirates the 1-0 lead. Just the third homer that Gray has allowed, and now 9 starts in the big leagues. Marte's 18th of the year, and watch it. And because there's a sparse crowd, you can really hear it. Not only when it leaves the bat, but when it bounces off the bleachers. As Andrew McCutchen is thrown out.
443 was the distance on that one, Greg. The official tail of the tape. There it is again. Fastball right in the inside corner. Marte didn't watch it.
No, he didn't. Gray did. That little glance there.
Oh, yeah. Well, you want to, like, kind of act like you don't have to look at it because you know you hit it so well. It's like, you see the guys who hit the driver right down the middle. They just reach down, pick up the tee, that sort of thing.
But they can't help themselves.
That's kind of what it is. But then you're about halfway to first, and you're thinking, man, I wonder where that's going to land. And then you got to look. And it's a little bit the same for the pitcher that throws them. You know it's crushed. Okay, it's gone. And you don't want to look. But then you start wondering, I wonder how far it's going to go. And then you turn around and take a peek.
And now Ramirez hits one deep to right center field, sending Blackman near the wall. And this one is gone. A Rama Lama ding dong. It is 2-0 Pirates.
It's like we're playing this game on the moon.
Ramos Ramirez, number 17 on the year, and his 6th as a Pirate this season.
No gravity. The ball just keeps carrying and carrying and carrying and carrying.
Solo shots Marte to deep left, and this one clears the fence in right center. You see a lot of players from an offensive standpoint smiling here at Coors Field.
Oh, yeah.
Pitchers, not so much.
No. From the hitting standpoint, you don't see a lot of sore shoulders or any of that stuff here. Everybody's in top shape. Everybody wants to play.
True.
Nobody wants a day off. You're fighting to get into the lineup in this place.
Popped up. Shortstop Reyes will be easy for him, but Pirates use the long ball. For A.J. Burnett, he got an early lead. First of this 4-game series. We'll check out the Rockies starting lineup. Brought to you by Honda. Charlie Blackmon will be leading things off. He'll be followed by Jose Reyes. Carlos Gonzalez, a career .295 hitter against the Buccos with a dozen homers. Nolan Arenado hits cleanup and 114 RBIs to lead the league. Then it's Justin Morneau, DJ LeMahieu, Corey Dickerson, Tom Murphy behind the plate, and John Gray on the hill.
AJ's numbers brought to you by Hyundai, making his 24th start of the season after missing quite a bit of time. But the strikeouts are still coming. He's got 124, as you can see, and still been able to move up that all-time mark quite a bit. Not throwing with quite the same velocity, at least in his first couple of games back, as he was early in the year, but hasn't really seemed to bother him at all when he's been able to throw the ball where he wants to, control-wise. There hasn't been much difference as far as the way he's getting hit. And that's the pitch I'm talking about right there. That fastball to the first base side of the plate where he just nips the corner. He has been so good at that this season.
Might have broken a bat on a roller to second. 1 up, 1 down. Charlie Blackmon rounds out to Neil Walker. And we'll get to our Rivers Casino tips to win.
But don't play too deep. This is a giant ballpark, and I think the outfielders tend to back up a little bit because of the way the ball carries, but then you leave all the acres of property in front of you for the singles to fall into. Be careful not to get too deep. Balls over your head is going to be a home run anyway most of the time. And for AJ, you'd like to see him establish that curveball. A lot of players have a tough time with it. A lot of pitchers have a tough time getting the curveball to break like they think it should. But you can't give up on it. It's your main pitch, especially with AJ. You gotta make it work. And he's been around the block a few times. He'll figure it out.
Jose Reyes came over from Toronto in the Troy Tulowitzki deal. Veteran switch hitting shortstop. And bounced right back to A.J. Burnett.
I think he's got both his outs here early on changeup. You know, we know A.J. doesn't throw a ton of changeups, but that might be something we're going to look for tonight. He's thrown 2 here early on, and both of them weak ground balls.
Well, he throws very few, in fact, to the point of kind of making a joke of it over the years. But his couple starts, Bob, since coming off the disabled list, he's thrown more. Mm-hmm. So, becoming a weapon for him. And Carlos Gonzalez to the plate. 37 homers for Cargo, second in the National League, and pitch that misses, not where Burnett wanted. 90 RBIs for Cargo. Bounces this to first. Oh, a nice little play there from Pedro Alvarez. Well, it took a tough little hop, and he plays it off to the side. Nicely done. Props from his pitcher, A.J. Burnett. 1, 2, 3. Nothing. after 1 inning of play here at Coors Field. The Pirates hit 2 home runs, solo shots off John Gray. John Gray, you look at what he has done in his previous 8 starts in the big leagues. First 2 innings is when you really do want to get to him because he settles down after that.
Well, so far so good. They've got to him.
And 1 more inning before he settles in. So make this a good one too here.
All right, we'll do it.
He pitched a pretty good ball game against Clayton Kershaw his last time out. Cervelli, Alvarez, Mercer. Cervelli was 1 for 4 yesterday at Dodger Stadium. And you see that batting average at .295. Dribbler. Oh, and Cervelli's going to have himself an infield single.
Excellent start.
So Cervelli picks up an infield hit. Taking off right away.
You know, it's so important, and that's why I talked about the outfield. Don't get too deep, give up those little singles, because balls are going to get out of here. We've already seen 2 tonight. You want them to be solo shots. You know what? I mean, obviously, right now we want them to be with guys on base, but from a pitching standpoint,
Burnett and others,
you really want to minimize the base runners any way you can. No walks. Try to get rid of the cheap hits. Take away those. And if they hit home runs, which you know they're going to, you want them to be solo home runs like they were in that first inning. But now you get a little cheap, a little swinging bunt. Now there's a base runner on.
3 infielders on the right side.
Pedro pops one out of here. Now it's 4-0.
Alvarez struck out both of his at-bats against John Gray back on the 28th of August. Alvarez hit his 25th home run of the year in yesterday's 4-3 victory. Look at John Gray. The Pirates hitting 2 home runs in the very first inning. His first 36 innings in the big leagues coming into tonight, he had allowed a total of 2 homers. The first 4 batters of this game, first inning, Marte Ramirez hit solo shots. And he falls behind here. 3 balls, no strikes. 6'4", 235 pounds. From Chandler, Oklahoma. 3rd pick overall 2 years ago out of the University of Oklahoma. On. 3-1. Now it's full. On the Pirates' first baseman, Pedro Alvarez. 3 career homers here at Coors Field in Denver. That home run yesterday, by the way, 129 for his career. He's now 13th on the all-time Pirates home run list. 3-2 count. And out of play. And that was a nice play, by the way. Let's not discount what Alvarez just did. It has been very erratic and disappointing defensively for him at first base. Nicely done to make that pick on the Carlos Gonzalez hard ground ball to end the bottom of the first. Gets him.
That's that hard slider that he has. It's so good. Got him to swing right over the top of it.
Division going to be on the line next week. Starting Monday night, 3-game series. The Cardinals come to PNC Park. Be there for the showdown. For tickets to any of the games of the series, again starting Monday night, all 3 night games. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. Go to pirates.com/tickets, and you can wear that if you'd like. Dress like a pirate. And the Reds lead the Cardinals 1-0 in St. Louis in the 3rd inning. We'll update you throughout the night. RBI hit from Brandon Phillips with 1-0 Cincinnati. Jaime Garcia on the mound for the Cardinals. John Lamb, the rookie for the Reds. See the Cubs leading the Brewers at Wrigley. And that's past Nolan Arenado. And Francisco Cervelli is going to be waved home as Mercer's into second base with a double, and the Pirates lead 3-0. Jordy Mercer just inside the bag.
Yeah, ground ball inside the bag, and he hit it firm enough that it got all the way down to the corner. And you see another little thing about this ballpark. It is so deep into the corners. The outfielder has to go so far that Cervelli scores from first base on this without even a thought of a play.
Cervelli watching.
Now he knows it's in the corner, and you just keep up a decent pace, and you're home.
Cervelli into the dugout. And now A.J. Burnett at the plate. Jordy Mercer, 26th RBI, 17th double. We were talking a lot in Los Angeles about how important Jordy Mercer will be the last couple of weeks of this regular season and into the postseason. Burnett chops it to the shortstop Reyes. Mercer to third, 2 outs. Top of the order, Gregory Polanco. We want to see your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag #PitDataStrongFan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Beautiful night here in Denver. 83 degrees at game time. And as is always the case, Pirates fans everywhere. Polanco flied out to left to start the ball game. Nine homers, 46 RBIs for Polanco on the year. Two-out hit here would be nice. And a roller toward third. There's Arenado on the move. The backhand play, and he throws out Gregory Polanco. However, Jordy Mercer doubles home Cervelli. Another run for Burnett. 3-0 Bucks.
Mikowski here at Coors Field yesterday at Dodger Stadium. Toward the end of the game, we told you about the upcoming costume trip that the players are going to wear on the flight from LA to here, and let's just say it didn't disappoint. There's Josh Harrison getting a hand from Josh Decker with the costumes. We had Ninja Turtles. That's Clint Hurdle. He was Darth Vader. It was fantastic stuff all the way around. That's Jay Happ, by the way, in the Waldo costume. Fantastic. Tony Watson, and of course, Batman and Robin. Who could forget the team photo? Check our Twitter account at Root Sports Pitt. You'll see that team photo, a still shot of it, of everybody. It's fantastic stuff. A.J. Burnett and Neil Walker were the co-creators of it. When you look at A.J. Burnett's Batman suit, Greg and Bob, let's just say it would be an understatement to say he did not spare any expense at looking as close to Batman as he could. Same thing for Jeff Locke, his Robin. And also, we'll have a pretty cool feature on this coming up on the next episode of Inside Pirates Baseball. We'll get an in-depth look on the costumes. Great stuff.
And that looked like he borrowed it or stole it from Michael Keaton. Very authentic. And there is Robin. Jeff Locke will pitch Thursday afternoon here. Charlie Morton next to him will pitch Wednesday night. And Superman behind the plate. Francisco Cervelli. Nolan Arenado has been Superman this year.
Should have put him in a Dean Martin outfit.
Oh, that would have been great. Nolan Arenado, 39 homers. Two back of Bryce Harper for the league lead. 114 RBIs to lead the senior circuit. A 24-year-old Newport Beach, California native. Gold Glover in each of his first 2 full years in the big leagues. Oh, swing and a miss at the pitch in the dirt. A.J. Burnett gets his first strikeout tonight. 125 for the year and 5 shy of 2,500 for his career.
Watch this curveball break. Pretty good, huh? Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with that one. Guys say curveball won't break up here. I think a lot of that, Greg, it gets in guys' heads. They can't throw it and they get away from it. Try to do something different than they normally can and get themselves in a big problem. You know, they hang a curveball instead of blaming it on themselves hanging the curveball. You think, oh, that one just didn't break. Wasn't my fault. I mean, it's human nature.
Right.
And obviously, I understand that, you know, there is some, you know, percentage of a break that is going to go away because of the atmosphere that you're up higher like this. But it's not so much that I think you need to really just overhaul the way you pitch.
It has been a difficult place for pitchers, though there have been occasions where pitching staff has helped lead the Rockies to postseason play.
On the size of the field as anything else.
Yeah, that expands.
Well, think of the last. If it's 320 instead of 350 down the line, Cervelli probably doesn't score on that ground ball into the corner.
Yeah.
Plus, the outfielder's not playing nearly as you know, deep.
Yeah.
And that always, I think, makes it much easier to score runs on like a single from guys from second base. There's all kinds of little stuff.
It was weird there. Cervelli wanted the curveball in the dirt. Burnett threw a fastball.
Oh, boy, it really didn't break.
Breaking ball is fouled off. Beautiful, beautiful look as the sun sets.
Still kind of warm and summer-like here at the base of the Rockies. Beautiful day.
Full count on Justin Morneau, former teammate with A.J. Burnett a couple of years ago. We take a look at the runs per game. Ballpark leaders, Coors Field, just ahead of Fenway Park in terms of runs per game.
Globe Life always gives up a lot of runs.
It always does. And this ball just slapped toward the left side, and with nobody playing there, Justin Morneau has himself an opposite field single. Morneau, much of the time this year on the disabled list, was swinging a hot bat lately. Came back the first week of this month, and he now hit safely in 9 of 12 games. Wry smile.
AJ, I don't think there's anything that bothers him more than to give up the ground ball base hit.
When nobody fields,
when there's nobody there. Now I think he realizes that the shift over the course of time helps him out more than it hurts him. But it's still, you can tell by the look on his face all the time when somebody pokes the ball the other way, a little ground ball, and there's nobody there, it bothers him a little bit.
Last pitch, Burnett.
Yeah, like it was. You see that sometimes when you get a little drizzle going out there, it gets a little wet. But that plant foot went forward a couple inches after it came down.
2-0 on LeMahieu. DJ LeMahieu is 9th in the league in hitting. .307 average. Team batting average of .264 is 3rd in the National League. 171 homers, second only to the Dodgers.
That fastball in the corner.
Walt Weiss, again, his club at 63 and 86 on the year, though they have won 6 of their last 10. Very level-headed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Walt Weiss, really good approach as a manager. Win or lose, tough times, just steady as she goes. Clint Hurdle was hoping to get Walt Weiss on his coaching staff a few years ago. 2-2. Right to the shortstop, Mercer. He'll keep it himself. 6-3 double play. 2 innings, 3-0 Pirates. Little discussion there with A.J. Burnett. Clint Hurdle there as well. Actually having a little fun, some chuckles there with A.J. Burnett. And our Chick-fil-A double play routine. 6-3. Mercer keeps it himself. DJ LeMahieu hits into the inning-ending double play. So far, so good. 2 innings in the books for A.J. Burnett. Here's Starling Marte. Again, we showed you that graphic earlier of John Gray in his first 8 starts. 8.62 ERA the first 2 innings. After that, 2.21. A fly ball to center field. Charlie Blackmon.
Yeah, he had to make a little course correction. That one traveled quite a bit further than he anticipated.
Beautiful look here at Coors Field. Place opened in 1995. 2 years after Denver got its Major League Baseball team. Played the first couple of years at Mile High Stadium. Andrew McCutchen bounced out his first time up. So the Rockies pitching staff over the years, we were talking about that last inning. That has really what has made this such a difficult place to play and therefore to win. Clint Hurdle knows all about that. Those pitching staffs he struggled with his first few years as manager here. Rockies were under 500 in each of his first 5 years. And then in 2007 had that amazing run on the way to the World Series. A team that won 14 of its last 15 regular season games, culminating in that wild 13-inning victory over San Diego, the 1-game playoff for the wild card berth, and they went on to sweep back-to-back series against the Phillies and Diamondbacks and on the way to the World Series as Andrew McCutchen draws a 1-out walk. We invite you to download the MLB.com ballpark app on your mobile phone and check in next time you're at PNC Park. Free app. It personalizes your PNC Park experience with check-in offers, rewards, social media, and exclusive team content. Download the ballpark app with Google Play or the App Store on your iPhone or Android. Check it out next week. Pirates' last 6 regular season games at PNC Park, starting with that big 3-game series against the Cardinals Monday night. Off day next week on the Thursday, and then the Reds come in for the final 3. Ramos Ramirez, who has homered in 4 of the last 5 games played here at Coors Field with that dinger in the first, as they think that McCutchen might be running.
You never want to make those outs on the bases, but I would think, Greg, that it hurts you more here than any place else if you make outs out there.
So you probably see teams run less than here. Probably,
I
right?
think you should. You're in scoring position right now at first base. Traditionally we see, second and third is scoring position, but in this ballpark, it's so easy to get extra base hits and home runs that. Do you really want to take that chance to get to second base? I mean, maybe if there's a sinker baller on there, you're trying to stay on a double play, stuff like that. But you really got to be careful not make any outs on the bases in this ballpark.
Tapped foul. Take another look at the Ramos Ramirez home run, career home run number 386.
Pretty good career he's had.
That's 62nd on the all-time list.
Very good.
Broke a tie with Dwight Evans, that home run. 1-2 the count on him. And how big, Bob, were his RBIs the last 2 ball games at Dodger Stadium. The RBI double in the 8th inning on Saturday night that broke the 2-2 tie. The Pirates won that game 3-2. And we saw Ramos Ramirez come up big again yesterday in the 5th inning.
It's really nice having him sitting behind McCutchen, because a lot of people try to pitch around McCutchen, and you have a good RBI guy that they're going to have to deal with if they make that choice. And sometimes it's going to work out, but a lot of times he'll hurt them.
Barrel Automotive League leaders. Home runs by ballpark. Coors Field tops in the National League. A scoop by Tom Murphy.
You start him here
first.
3-2. In our little discussion,
in this case, you probably will see him take off.
Yeah, I don't think Ramirez is going to be a strikeout guy, especially if he gets a ball in the strike zone. He pretty seldom is going to swing and miss unless it's a bouncing pitch or way outside.
There he goes, 3-2 offering, a swing and a miss, but no throw. So the stolen base for McCutchen.
That's the thing you got to worry about, is they won't throw him a strike and he'll go out and chase it. But you feel comfortable that if it's going to be around the plate, Ramos is going to put wood to it and get the ball put in play. And if it's not around the plate, it's going to be a real bad breaking ball and probably not going to be able to throw out the runner anyway, which was the case here.
Ten steals on the season for Andrew McCutchen. So he's double digits now. Stolen bases. And there's a line foul. Each of his 7 years in the big leagues for Andrew McCutchen. Stole 18 last year. In scoring position for Walker. They're making Gray work. 1 ball, 1 strike. The numbers for Walker in these situations with 2 outs. Walker, that game the end of August at PNC Park, a strikeout and an intentional walk facing John Gray. And it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes with Francisco Cervelli on deck. We'll have to keep adding on here too, Bob, don't you? If you talk about how pitching staff, you want to make the home run solo. Well, from an offensive standpoint, any chance you get to just keep adding on.
I agree. There's no taking your foot off the accelerator here.
Probably in other ballparks you probably can.
Yeah,
but
at some point. But here,
this one you got to just.
I don't think anybody ever. You get a 6-run lead and you're, putting on a hit and run or something. Nobody's going to say anything to you. Maybe if it's the top of the 9th or so, that might not be good. And even then, I don't know.
Kind of all bets are off in this ballpark.
Too many crazy things could happen here. It's too easy to mount a big comeback quickly because of the home run. It's such a always standing there, and you get a couple of guys on, somebody hits one out, and then whichever team is trailing is right back into it. You go back 30, 40 years ago, there definitely was a thought that once you got up 4 or 5 runs, there were certain things you weren't going to be able to do anymore. No more bunting. Sometimes you were even frowned upon if you're up by 5 runs, you try to steal a base. They wouldn't like that. Somebody would get hit by the baseball, not getting hit.
Called out on strikes. It's the 3rd for John Gray. Back-to-back Ks. The Pirates have a 3-0 lead. And there you see Brian Tekulve, his wife Keegan, and Kent Tekulve's grandson Everett Tucker.
Good looking boy. Already eating nachos. It's
with the number 27.
You don't see the nacho eating
by the way
all the time that early, but I saw you just get the cheese off his chin.
Can you believe it is so wild to see, like Teeks, remember when Teeks kids were running around the clubhouse and you see there's Brian Tekulve, his wife Keegan, and they live out here in Denver now, and there's Teeks' grandson Everett, Keegan from the Denver area. Of course, I guess we could say the same thing about you when we see you with your boys and your grandkids.
Yeah, we all are getting old, aren't we? Is that what you're trying to say, Greg?
No, because I'm part of it. All fouled out of play by Corey Dickerson, bottom third of the order. A.J. Burnett gave up the ground single to Justin Morneau with one out in the second, and then got DJ LeMahieu to hit into the double play. And with third base wide open, Dickerson thinking of and trying to drop down a bunt, but fouls it off.
I certainly understand guys trying to make that bunt. What I don't understand is why they try to bunt like they're bunting for a base hit, like there's a third baseman there. I've talked about this before. If they're going to do that, just square around and bunt the ball there. You're not trying to fool anybody. There's no one there to fool. But they try to bunt and run at the same time, like they're laying down a normal drag bunt that they're going to have to beat out, like as if there was a third baseman down there. The idea is there, but the execution is not. And the more and more we have the shifts on, you'll see more guys try. I think we are seeing more guys do that this year. We're not seeing it being done successfully, though. Maybe regular hitters just can't bunt. The pitcher could go up there and square around. It's more like a sacrifice bunt.
First base coach. And toward right, Polanco. Dickerson lines out to right. One up and one down. And our day automotive this day in Pirates history. This day, 2013. Pirates beat the Reds 4-2. A.J. Burnett. 12 strikeouts. Pushed him over the 200 mark for the season. Third time in his career. First Pirate right-hander in team history to strike out that many in a season. A.J. Burnett. Strikeouts keep coming. Another one tonight. 5 shy of 2,500 for his career. 12 away from tying Christy Mathewson for 31st on the all-time strikeout list. And the batter playing in his 5th game with the Rockies is Tom Murphy. One of their highly touted prospects. And a chopper to third, and Ramirez should make this routine. And you can't help but, if you're a Pittsburgher, when you hear the name Tom Murphy, think about the former mayor, Tom J. Murphy, the mayor of Pittsburgh from 1994 through 2006. Tom Murphy bounces out to Aramis Ramirez, the University of Buffalo product. 2 up and 2 down. Here's John Gray.
Also the start here, huh? AJ in this game, Coors Field, place where he hasn't really had a lot of success.
A couple of starts haven't been all that good for him here before tonight.
Up to an early lead. One time through the lineup, pretty good job. On a soft contact.
Tapper, Burnett going to go into a slide and throw high, but Pedro Alvarez with a fine play to go up and get it and apply the tag. Well, a couple of fine defensive plays from Pedro Alvarez tonight. A.J. Burnett hits his opposite number, and 1-2-3.
discuss how he received the news from Indianapolis Indians manager Dean Traynor.
It was after we lost the championship game. So I know everybody was kind of bummed. Dean himself was bummed a little bit. He knows that we should have won that game. But he was just talking about how much he enjoyed coaching us and how much of a good team that we were. And he was just like, well, there's only one upside about tonight, and that's Keon Broxton going to Pittsburgh. I was like, I was stunned. So it was awesome. It was a great time.
Great stuff. And Dean Traynor, as you guys well know, is known for finding creative ways to tell guys they're going to the big leagues for the first ever time. Nothing different about Keon Broxton. Look at the numbers that he put up this season between Double and Triple-A. We're talking fantastic stuff from him. Neil Huntington said he's continuing to mature in all parts of the game. He's a great athlete, young man. He's beginning to understand what type of hitter he needs to be. The bat, he said, is the last school for him to come. But this is a guy who's in big league camp, Greg and Bob, this March, was sent all the way down to Double-A and worked his way all the way up to the big leagues. What an example he is to younger players and finding his way and learning what parts of the game you have to improve and going out and doing it.
And one of those guys where it happens in the minor leagues too, you hear change of scenery type guy. One-time prospect for the Diamondbacks as Cervelli singles to center field. Francisco Cervelli is 2 for 2. Begins the 4th inning with a ground single to center. He's aboard for Pedro Alvarez. Yeah.
You certainly don't want to sit on that number 3 for too long. Pushing it up.
Brings up Pedro Alvarez. So Keon Broxton added to the Pirates, the 25-year-old in his 2nd year in the Pirates organization, traded over from Arizona before last season. Jung Ho Kang placed on the 60-day disabled list to make room for Broxton on the roster. And now ball 1, and Tom Murphy wants to talk to Gray. Alvarez struck out on a 3-2 pitch in the 2nd, one of 3 punch-outs for Gray. Ball and a strike on Alvarez. Gray was drafted twice before the Rockies got him. Kansas City Royals drafted him 5 years ago out of Chandler High School, 13th round pick. Then the Yankees drafted him the following year, the 10th round, out of East Oklahoma State College.
Probably most of your
behind 2-1.
Most of your elite, your first round draft picks have gone through similar things where they've been sought after not only by the colleges but by the pros coming out of high school. And they've said no a couple of times before they finally take the jump.
In the air toward left. Dickerson. Out number 1. We go back to the studio. Rob King in a State Farm game break. All right, Rob, thanks so much. And, of course, the big news today involving the Cardinals, the fact that Yadier Molina is going to miss some time with that torn ligament in his left thumb. They're trying to sound hopeful that he could be back for the regular season, which ends in 2 weeks. They are encouraged about Adam Wainwright maybe coming back and doing some pitching out of the bullpen. Jordy Mercer doubled inside the third base bag. Brought home Cervelli from first base in the 2nd inning. And a line drive to left field and headed into the corner. Cervelli going to head to third base, and he is going to be waved home again. Here comes the throw. No, Reyes drops it. It is a replay. Another double for Mercer, scoring Cervelli from first. And it's 4-0.
Yeah, the only difference, I think Mercer got this one a little bit better. Hit this one a little harder. He still got it down there in that corner, almost 350 feet away. And Cervelli, look at him laugh. Twice in a row, he's had to hoof it all the way from first base.
Winded, he'll go back and rest. As we were saying,
look, there goes.
Yeah. We were talking about Jordy Mercer and how big he could be. The loss of Jung Ho Kang, he's going to play short about every night. He did a great job the second half last year. Jordy Mercer bringing home Cervelli once again all the way from first.
Absolutely, exactly what happened before. You saw last time where he went around the bag. He was looking out into the corner. He knew what was going to happen.
And Burnett, a little English on that one hopper, but handled by LeMahieu. And another ground out by Burnett moves Mercer to third with 2 outs. And Gregory Polanco will try and come up with a big 2-out hit, taking his time before he steps into that box. He has flied to left and bounced to third. Pirates scoring 2 in the first on solo homers from Starling Marte and Aramis Ramirez.
Well, they're giving him a lot of room at first and second base to lay down a bunt.
Yeah.
Now, guys don't like to bunt in this ballpark, but maybe that's why they're both playing so deep. Most of the time, you'll see third baseman in on the edge of the grass for at least until they're strike one, and then they'll move back a little bit. Not this time. Everybody way back.
Polanco had a bunt single last night.
Right?
Yeah.
How can 3 guys cover that all?
They can't.
And they don't. So, absolutely just a huge ballpark. Very deep gaps. Very deep corners. 415 the dead center. It's the only place that really has a normal distance would be like straightaway right field. To the Rocky bullpen, 375 right behind the right fielder. That's kind of normal. Everything else has really been pushed way back.
Line drive into center field for Gregory Polanco. 2-out hit. It is 5-0 Buccos.
Look at the sound off the bat with that
beautiful
ball.
Sound. Polanco, 47th RBI.
Close your eyes, you hear that, you know you're in a ballpark.
Let's listen again. Right up the middle.
I wonder if anybody has good enough ears to tell between maple and ash.
Huh, I bet. Oh,
on
sure.
those line drives.
They
have to make a different noise.
Point Park University tweet: playing in this ballpark, does your approach as a hitter change at all? If it does, how so and why?
Well, they try to hit home runs. Should they try? No, they shouldn't change their approach at all. But they do. They love coming here. They 4 games. They're all thinking, I'm going to have 2 more home runs than I have right now when we get on the airplane to leave this place. Now, not every single one of them has that approach. The guys that have the pop in the bat, they're looking to hit long balls here. They want to be in that lineup, and they're looking for something up that they can drive out. But for me, I'm not a hitter, but I don't think you should change your approach. If you're a good hitter, that somebody like Marte, you got something that works, why change? Heck, it could even put you in a slump.
Yeah.
You change something, and then you leave here, and then then you're messed up.
For all the analytics, I would love to see a stat like that.
See what guys hit for the next 2 weeks after they leave here?
That would be so fascinating. Not just the Pirates, but get a good sample size, example of a bunch of teams, bunch of players, find out, if there's anything to that. I bet you there is.
Yeah, one of the things, too, how about the pitchers? The same thing.
Yeah.
Like for pitchers, okay, it's tough to pitch here. But I've seen some guys to where they take that on the road. They don't pitch well on the road either. So, but what difference does that make? So, they don't have confidence. I don't know, but there's something that goes on with the pitchers, to where when they go on the road, the numbers on a lot of them, not all of them, but on a lot of them, don't seem to get that much better, or at least not as much as they should.
Bluff start at first, and a line foul and missed by much, being a fair ball.
Boy, the Pirates are really centering up some baseballs.
Blanco shut it down.
Boy, that was a great bluff. Put his head down. It looked like he was going.
And there he goes. And right through the hole. On a 1-2 pitch, just a weak bouncer right through that hole. Base hit for Marte.
Well, I can't accuse Marte of changing his approach on that one. He wasn't trying to hit that one into the bleachers. He was trying to take advantage of the hole on that right side. Obviously just went for the ground ball base hit.
Walt Weiss, bench coach Tom Reynolds. So first and third, another man in scoring position for the man who has the best batting average in the league in these situations, Andrew McCutchen. Ball one. We're talking about just one example, and just for discussion's sake, Andrew McCutchen, after leaving a series here at Coors Field last year toward late July, he was hitting .318. After leaving Coors Field, for the next month he hit .273. 2-0, but that's not to suggest that that's the reason. You need a lot more work done on players and averages and such. 2 outs, runners in scoring position, a .400 average. And it's 3-0. (5-0), and Andrew McCutchen might have a chance to, with this pitch, add to this lead in a big way.
Not pitching to him much.
Bullpen action for the Rockies.
Did you see where the target was for
3-0?
Yep. Out of the strike zone.
Yep. And it just happened to hit the corner.
Yeah, and he had to move the glove back toward the strike zone to catch the ball. Look at the target.
Yeah.
The target is for ball 4.
Mm-hmm. Don't make that mistake again, Tom Murphy's saying to John Gray. And it's 3-2. So the pitch count for Gray approaching 70. This is 9th major league start.
I don't think he's thrown more than 90 something in any start.
And the bullpen. Castro loosens up for the Colorado Rockies. That's Simon Castro. Line down the line and left, but just foul. McCutchen knew it was going to be foul. He did not take off.
Well, Marte standing on third, he didn't know that was going to be foul. He was flying. Marte just kept on going right around the bag. Sometimes when Marte is taking some things for granted,
he wasn't there.
Wasn't that time.
No. Yesterday was a case where he did.
Yep.
Getting thrown out. Rounding third on that infield single. Gray strikes out McCutchen. Came back to get him after falling behind 3-0. The Pirates add to the lead, pick up a couple of more runs. Jordy Mercer's second RBI double of the game brings home Cervelli, and Polanco singles home Mercer. Tomlin's live press conference tomorrow on Root Sports. Hear game reaction and analysis on the Steelers' win over the Niners. See how the coach is getting his team ready for the next matchup. Mike Tomlin press conference live tomorrow at noon on Root Sports. 5-0 Pirates lead it. Jordy Mercer and Francisco Cervelli. Been a big combo tonight. Cervelli singles twice. And Mercer twice doubles him home. Showing bunt. Blackman takes ball one. Charlie Blackman bounced out to Neil Walker his first time. And now 1-2. The Georgia Tech product.
Seeing some real good use of that changeup tonight.
What do you think he has started to all of a sudden
throw more changeups?
Yeah, 3 starts now, a bunch more. I mean, it's compared to what he had done in the past, way more.
There's probably a call from his dad.
Finally listening to his dad after all these
after all
years.
this time, there's no changeup, strike 3.
Man,
father knows best.
Sometimes the son is stubborn. It takes years to have it sink in.
The movement on that changeup, the bottom falling out of it. Mess around and come up with a great new pitch and
want to pitch a couple more years.
Have to stay a few more years because you got a new toy.
And this is a liner towards center field. McCutchen tries to make a sliding catch. And Reyes will get the base hit.
It's a good job just kind of knocking that one down. And once he didn't get to it, they were right in front of him.
Jose Reyes, the one-out single.
One of them change-ups turned into a ground ball here.
Carlos Gonzalez bounces it toward the right side. Walker for one, but no chance to get Cargo. 2 outs.
Was a changeup, I think, right off the end of the bat.
Well, Burnett has given up just 2 hits so far, a couple of strikeouts. Got Arenado.
You know, the basics of getting hitters out doesn't change because it's Coors Field as opposed to Petco Park. The key is still to break their timing, to destroy their timing, changing speeds, get them to try and swing earlier than they want to or stay back later than they want to. And that's the way you stay out of the head of the bat. You stay away from them really hitting one on the screws and get it out of here. And AJ's doing a nice job of that tonight with that changeup. There's other ways you can do it. Moving the fastball in and out to both sides of the plate can destroy their timing. You get it in on their hands enough with that cutter. We see Melanson do it all the time. They have to commit to their swing earlier, and then you can do some other things now away and with the slower stuff. And that's basically what AJ's doing right now. He's not worried about like, oh, how much is my curveball breaking or anything like that. He's worried about, you know, the getting the hitters to where they're a little early or a little late with each one of their swings.
Struck him out with the fastball.
It's destroying his timing.
Yeah,
it's only 91 mile an hour, but he's late because he's looking off speed.
Fifth inning here at Coors Field in Denver. Time now for our Data Strong fan photo of the game, brought to you by T-Mobile. As that sun was setting Eric Bianco took a shot from the seats here at Coors Field. Nicely done. First of 4 with the Rockies. And that'll be it for National League West play. The Pirates will finish up against their own division. 3 this weekend at Wrigley. And the big series against the St. Louis Cardinals starting Monday night, a 3-game series. The Cardinals still trail 1-0 going to the bottom of the 7th. It would be so nice to get that lead down to 3 or fewer. And that is just foul. And then the Reds will be the Pirates' opponent at PNC Park to close out the regular season. Go to Pirates.com, get those tickets. The Cubs are leading the Brewers 6-4 at Wrigley. Fly ball towards center. Blackman nearing the wall and makes the catch. Ramirez homered in the first. Flies out to the center fielder here in the 5th. Keep up with the pennant races in true HD quality on MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. College students enjoy a back-to-school offer with 35% off discount. Authentication required. Blackouts and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV today. Buccos lead it 5-0. About hit the Rockies 8-2. Neil Walker has popped up and struck out looking. Both times ending innings. The first and the third. They're going to be very careful with their former first-round pick. As the bullpen is up.
Yeah, the pitch count getting up, and to be honest with you, Greg, too, he's not exactly mowing everybody down either.
No, it's true. And another hit.
They might get him out of there for other reasons besides just the pitch count starting to reach up there a little.
Gray reacts. Brings up Francisco Cervelli. Walt Weiss looking on. Christian Friedrich. He's about ready. And he will probably face Pedro Alvarez. Alvarez on deck. Cervelli 2 for 2. Talking about these pitching staffs over the year for the Colorado Rockies. The team ERA, no surprise, last in the league at 5. In the 23 years of the Rockies' existence, only 5 times has the team ERA been under 4.5. One of those times was that 2007 year we talked about. That team going to the World Series, a rotation that had Jeff Francis and Aaron Cook, Ubaldo Jimenez, and former Pirate Josh Fogg. It was a 4.32 team ERA. But most years that earned run average is right around or over 5. Two and one. Hoping that John Gray can be a part of a rotation that starts to turn things around. Now it's 2-2. No way, says Cervelli.
He's right. Ball's inside.
2-2. a full count. Home plate umpire Larry Vanover and the crew chief asking Brian Knight. Vic Carapaza at second, Ron Kolpa at third. And a 3-2 count now on Cervelli. And perhaps the last pitch of the game for John Gray.
He'll make it a slider. What do you think? Go for the strikeout?
Fastball. Doesn't want to walk him.
You're right, Greg. Well, a fastball right down the middle.
That's 3-2.
But, you know, why would you care if you know it's the last pitch of the game?
Because the last thing in the world you want to do is walk a guy and
so go for the strikeout.
No.
Yeah. He's already given up 5 runs. He wants to go out with a flourish.
Pitching coach Steve Foster was out a couple innings back talking with him. The runner goes from first, and it's a called third strike, and safe on the stolen base. Francisco Cervelli at home plate arguing with Larry Vanover. A stolen base for Neil Walker. The strikeout of Cervelli. Was Cervelli right this time?
Nope.
It was a strike. Neil Walker gets his 4th steal in 4 attempts as the throw from Murphy was in the dirt. And that is going to be it for John Gray. He strikes out the last batter he faces.
With a fastball. With that.
By the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
It is 5-0 Pirates. John Gray goes 4 2/3, gives up the 9 hits. Pair of homers, Starling Marte, Ramos Ramirez, and now Christian Friedrich, lefty, will face Pedro Alvarez.
Friedrich's numbers on the year: 540. So he's one of the guys that pull the ERA up. As a pitcher, you kind of notice those things when you're looking at your stats of whether your ERA is below or above the team's ERA. You helping or are you going the other way?
Fouled off. So it's 0-2 on Pedro Alvarez. He has struck out and flied to left. Team high 63 appearances for Christian Friedrich. Gets Alvarez. Pirates leading at 5-0. From the Allegheny Health Network Super Bowl to the sounds of Seether coming to Stage AE October the 11th. And tonight, the Pirates are leading here at Coors Field 5-0. A.J. Burnett faces Justin Morneau. And this time, a base hit to the left side of the infielder over there, Aramis Ramirez. Hit it to Ramirez's right. Almost an excuse me single in the second. This time, hard hit ball in the center.
AJ right now is thinking, why don't we move everybody to that side of the infield? Well, backdoor curveball. He was just trying to start him off with a strike. So he put the ball exactly where he wanted to.
Here's DJ LeMahieu. Six-3 inning ending double play in the second. Two-0 count. Came in ninth in the league in hitting. Like many of his teammates, better average here, 327 at Coors Field, 287 on the road. And all of a sudden it's 3-0. It's Corey Dickerson on deck. Bob, you think the fastball's just off a little tick or so?
Compared to earlier in the year, yeah. Compared to the first time he was a Pirate, quite a bit so.
Yeah. Chopper, shortstop, right there, Mercer. And another double play. No. Alvarez drops the ball. We were praising Pedro Alvarez for a couple of fine defensive plays. And then a routine ground ball to the shortstop.
No reason to miss this one.
It's just you cannot figure it sometimes.
Just a throw.
Just drops the throw right in his glove. And we've seen that so many times. He's not able to corral those sometimes throws, line drives, pickoffs. Error number 21. Nope, won't get the error, will he?
Well, no,
although you can give an error on a play like that.
It's on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they did. The official score can do that. That's not a hard, fast rule about you can't assume a double play. In this case, you certainly can. Right off of his glove. 21 errors on the year. And hit hard to right. Polanco turns, plays it off the wall beautifully. Corey Dickerson off the right field wall.
An excellent job by Polanco. Although this ball is not high enough for him really to have to make a decision. It was such a line drive that he had no choice but just turn around and look for the rebound. He got right in the right spot. Turn, give the ball to the first guy you see. There it is. Look for a gray uniform, throwing the ball. Everybody has to stop. And you try the double play thing again.
Tom Murphy.
Maintain this shutout that AJ's got going. As far as the velocity goes, Greg, I'm pretty sure that you would say early in the year the velocities were 92 to 93, right in that area.
Oh, hit hard to left field, and Tom Murphy, with his second big league home run in his 5th major league game, makes it 5-3 with that swing.
That pitch, I believe, was 89. And I'm sure that's a fastball being 89, but not nearly as fast as AJ has pitched basically his whole career and even earlier this year. But, as we've seen for most of tonight and the last couple of games, even though he's not throwing the ball real hard, he's throwing the ball now, around 90. With his control and mixing in a few more change-ups, and he still has a really good curveball, then he can still be very effective.
Alvarez still, I'm sure, thinking. Rafael Inoa pinch hitting.
Not just that play at first, but any play where you don't get an out or somebody goes an extra 90 feet, you don't know what kind of effect that's going to have on the rest of the inning. Because now the catcher's going to call different pitches, pitcher's going to try and do different things. Sometimes the effect might just be, well, the pitcher had to throw, an extra 10 pitches than he would have. That's why the entire season it's important to play good defense, but especially in the month of September. There's so much on the line.
And that's what Clint Hurdle wrestles with every night when he makes out that lineup. And a strike 3 called on the pinch hitter. Rafael Inoa strikes out looking, 4th for Burnett.
Right there, top of the stone.
He's got 4 on the night. Charlie Blackmon will come to the plate, having bounced out and struck out. Second big league homer. His first one was Saturday against the Padres. Tom Murphy. One and one on Blackmon. It's the 9th home run Burnett has allowed on the year. Leadoff man and center fielder Charlie Blackmon, with his team now down just a couple. Two and two. The Reds still leading 1-0. That's St. Louis, top of the 8th inning. And a little flare, just foul.
A long arm there, get that one.
Wow, nice.
Very cool.
Oh, excellent. A Pirate fan.
Toss it
to a young Rocky fan.
Now a Blue Jay fan.
Oh, Blackmon is hit by the pitch. A 2-2 offering.
Throw this fastball inside. Blackmon not moving backwards, but just turning with the baseball and letting it kind of hit him. See, a lot of players will do that. They won't try to back up. They'll just turn and take the pitch, take their base.
He does get hit a lot. 13th time this year he's been plunked. Jose Reyes 1 for 2. Blackmon also among the league leaders in stolen bases. He has 38 this season. That is third in the National League behind Billy Hamilton and D. Gordon.
Looked like he's wanting to run. He had a pretty good lead there. AJ went over.
Ball one on Reyes. Bounced out. Right back to Burnett his first time up and singled in front of Andrew McCutchen in the 4th. There goes Blackmon. And no throw. For the 9th stolen base.
Had a pretty good jump, and AJ's awfully slow to the plate. We know that, so I don't think it really mattered that the ball wasn't handled. It was an off-speed pitch. Looked like another changeup.
And a 2-0 count on Reyes with Carlos Gonzalez on deck. There goes Blackmon for third. Cervelli's throw, safe.
Wow, that was a little bold, I guess. Down by a couple of runs with 2 outs. So why risk going to third? If this is a throw on the money, he's out, isn't he? Or awfully, if it's right on the bag, they got a great shot at it. Throw would have had to have been right there on the bag, but they're taking a big chance there, trying to steal third, and for what reason?
And now a 4-pitch walk.
It's not like he's not going to steal. Oh, great save by Aramis. It's not like he wouldn't score on a single from second base.
So Ramirez, for the time being, saves a run, but now trouble indeed. A base hit that started the inning by Justin Morneau, and then DJ LeMahieu hit a routine double play ball to shortstop Jordy Mercer, who stepped on the bag for one out, but his throw to Pedro Alvarez was dropped for an error.
Some walking around out in the bullpen, but nobody up and throwing yet.
40 now for Blackman. Hit by a pitch, steals second and third. Corey Dickerson hit a ball off the wall in right field, and then the 3-run homer for Tom Murphy. Now the man with 90 RBIs and 37 home runs at the plate, Carlos Gonzalez. Ball one. 33 home runs since June the 2nd, leading all of Major League Baseball. Two and 0. Long inning. '25th pitch coming up.
Well, AJ didn't have to work very hard early in this game. Not many pitches at all. So hopefully he had a lot left in the tank. It's working now.
Fairly close. Reyes was back standing up.
Now, even though AJ is slow to the plate, he's always had one of the better pickoff moves for a right-hander. Very quick and accurate with his throws over to second, or excuse me, over to first.
Burnett has been able to get Carlos Gonzalez to hit the ball on the ground on the right side twice. This time the other way, foul. And there he is again.
That's two. Is he going to give this one away? He gave away that ball to the little kid and got another one. I mean, that's just a reward for good behavior, isn't it? How many will he get tonight? He's not going to take that glove off.
No. 2-1. 3-1. Still nobody up in the Pirates bullpen right now.
Put that ball down, has he?
3-1. Ball four and a save for Cervelli, and now they're loaded. And Nolan Arenado coming to the plate.
One of the things that I don't really like about the last couple of hitters been watching, where Cervelli's putting the target and where these balls are going is not anywhere close. Now that was a breaking ball. Looked like they were going to try and come in backdoor for a strike with it, and so he missed a good 3.5 feet from where he was aiming. And there's been several pitches the last couple of hitters where the control is just not where it was for the first 4 innings.
Well, I hate to keep going back, but everybody's thinking this, at least we are, and I'm sure many at home watching, thinking about how this whole thing was kind of disrupted.
Oh yeah, how is it? If there's 2 outs, nobody on, how different is the inning?
Yep. But that error looms so large.
But it's not just this instance that is important to remember. I mean, we don't want to, pile on here, but it's just the importance of, in general, of defense. When you're fighting going down in September, everything is magnified. Every play is so important.
And what an important at bat in the scheme of things now. With 2 outs, the first pitch strike on.
He threw that one right where he wanted to. That glove didn't move much at all that time.
Nolan Arenado, the league's leader in runs batted in. 114 for the Rockies' third baseman. And now Burnett out in front, 0-2. He has struck out Arenado in 2 at-bats tonight. Last time with a high fastball. Could really use it here. Gets him in the dirt, blocked by Cervelli. He'll step on the plate. A.J. Burnett strikes out Nolan Arenado. 9 men to the plate. 5-3 Pirates. Here it's 5-3 Pirates going to the 6th inning. The UPMC scoreboard, and A.J. Burnett due up second. Simon Castro, 6'5" right-hander, picked up from the Blue Jays in the Tulowitzki deal.
Oh, look at his splits, Greg. Man, that's a pretty big difference. He's not out there to get a lefty.
No. And because Polanco is due up third, a lefty is loosening in the bullpen. Walt Weiss with plenty of options out of his bullpen. 13 men in the bullpen these days for the Rockies. From Fort Collins, Colorado, Pirate fans everywhere. Jordy Mercer has doubled in 2 runs tonight. Twice he Doubled in the second, bringing home Francisco Cervelli from first. They made it 3-0. His RBI double in the fourth brought home Cervelli from first, made it 4-0. And a broken bat, fly ball that's going to drop in. And it's a 3-for-3 night for Jordy Mercer.
High fastball, but that didn't come apart. Splinters flying.
So, A.J. Burnett, 0 for 2.
Should be bunting. Squaring around.
He bunts it foul.
We really got a kind of an idea of how fast that ball's going when it changes direction off the bat and just goes off the screen so fast like that sideways. So it's just coming right at the camera. It's hard to tell that speed. But you get that look from the side. Baby's moving.
Whoa! Look out!
Got Batman's attention. This is right at the old noggin. You know, when you're bunting, it's you feel like you're really exposed. You're not in a good position to get out of the way of that baseball, and anything inside, it just looks like it's got you.
Couple strikes. 1-2 on A.J. Burnett. One ball, 2 strikes with Mercer at first. Simone Castro, former White Sox actually pitcher, and bunted by Burnett. He'll pick up his 9th sacrifice bunt of the year. And let's go back to the studio. Rob King in a game break. Not good to hear that. Hopefully the Reds have a rally in it themselves and a pitching change. A.J. Burnett gets the job done. Lefty coming on to face Gregory Polanco. Out of PNC Park, but recently they've been hurling toward the infield thanks to Pirates outfielders. Plus, we take you inside the Bucs dugout for a team dance party. That and more on Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network tomorrow at 7:30 on Root Sports. A.J. Burnett, sacrifice Gets the runner into scoring position, and here is Rex Brothers. Most of this season in the minor leagues. For the man who closed out 19 games 2 years ago. Had a disastrous 2014 season.
Those stats say 1 strikeout and 7 walks. You see that very often, do you? What's that strikeout to walk ratio?
Facing Polanco. 2-0.
1 strikeout, Greg, and 7 walks.
Not good.
That's bad. Very bad.
But he's going to get Polanco on the fly ball to left on the 2-0 pitch. Mercer at second now with 2 down. Starling Marte is going to face another new pitcher. In the first inning, he hit this one off John Gray. He's homered in back-to-back games. That is 18th of the year. Gave the Pirates a 1-0 lead. Ramos Ramirez homered later in that first inning. So Marte will face the right-hander as Rex Brothers retires Polanco. 5-3 Pirates here in Denver. First one in the second, 2 more in the fourth. A 3 spot for the Rockies in the bottom of the 5th. This inning began with Jordy Mercer, a base hit off Simon Castro, sacrificed to second by A.J. Burnett. Rex Brothers faced 1 batter. And now Scott Oberg to face Starling Marte.
His ERA a little above that line.
The rookie making his 57th appearance.
Helping or hurting line.
2 appearances against the Pirates in that series at the end of August at PNC Park. 1 was good, 1 was bad for Oberg in that series. He suffered the loss on August the 28th. Marte 2 out of 3. Hits this ball toward the right center gap, and Marte off the wall in right center field into second base with a double. Gives the Pirates a 6-3 lead. Starling Marte has 3 hits, a home run, single, and double. And the Pirates get one of those runs back.
He's loving his time in Denver already. What's he going to do in the next 3 games? He may be at 20 home runs before we leave town. Ball hitting right off off the very top of the wall.
Clint Hurdle going to ask for a review.
Or wait a minute,
did that hit that railing in the back?
In the back of the wall, perhaps. Couldn't tell. Oh, here's a real good look. It hit the line.
Well,
I think he could be.
Reviews it.
He's going to have his 20 home runs for the season before we leave here.
Double for Marte. Pirates lead at 6-3. Marte with his 72nd RBI. Andrew McCutchen. 1 ball, no strikes. And gets away. And Starling Marte winds up at third.
I thought for a moment because he couldn't find this ball. You know, with Marte's speed, he might be able to come around and score. I mean, he got to third base way before they found the ball.
Starling Marte, oddly enough, coming into this series, only 6 at-bats previously at Coors Field. 4 singles in those 6 at-bats. So he has 7 hits now in 10 Coors Fields at-bats. And now it's 2-2.
So he likes it here.
Not a bad start. Your Coors Field career. 7 for 10. Infield will concede with 2 outs, obviously, playing back. So the fact that Marte went to third on the wild pitch, not all that important unless Oberg throws another one in the dirt that gets away.
You know, and with guys hitting like Marte, Polanco, McCutchen in this case, getting to third base with 2 outs is a little bit more important than normal because they can get those late hits.
Infield hits.
Yeah, they top a ball in the infield. You never know. Jay can throw him in that group. He can get his leg hits too.
Another in the dirt, and he walks him. Third pitcher to work this inning, Scott Oberg. He's now given up a double off the wall and right, and a walk. A.J. Burnett now leading 6-3. And bounce to short for the force, and the Pirates get another. Rose runs back for A.J. Burnett, 6-3.
Cardinals with the 6-3 lead. Well, fans of Pittsburgh used to outdoor hockey, at least from seeing a Winter Classic played at Heinz Field back in 2011. And today, here at Coors Field, they announced a Stadium Series game between the Detroit Red Wings and the Colorado Avalanche. There you see the captain of the Colorado Avalanche, Gabriel Landeskog, one of the youngest captains in the National Hockey League. Joe Sakic, the general manager, there in the background. They're going to play some outdoor hockey here for the first time here at Coors Field, February 27th. Craig and Bob, I don't know how much you know about hockey, but this Red Wings-Avalanche rivalry is quite an intense one. They've had some beauties of games played over the years, especially in the mid-90s. So we've got hockey and baseball going to be played here at Coors.
Weather should be perfect that time of year for hockey. Here's a guy that grew up enjoying watching and playing hockey, Justin Morneau, the Canadian. And it is a final. The Cardinals have defeated the Cincinnati Reds 2-1. So the Pirates need to win, and need to win every game anyway, but in order to stay 4 back. The Cubs are up 9-5 in the 8th as Morneau drives one deep to left. Marte back to the track. 1 out. The hockey season is just around the corner. Getting you ready for the Penguins' new season with some preseason action this Thursday. The Pens take on the Detroit Red Wings at Joe Louis Arena starting at 7 with Penguins pregame presented by Heritage Valley Health Network. Ball 1. DJ LeMahieu. Two balls, no strikes. And now it's 3-0. On deck, Corey Dickerson. 3-0 count, 1 away. Pirates leading by 3. There's a strike. The other way to Polanco for the second out. And at 84 pitches, A.J. Burnett doing a heck of a job. He started to get away last inning after the error. Gave up the Dickerson double off the wall, and right as Dickerson comes to the plate, that preceded the Tom Murphy home run. He hit a batter, walked back-to-back hitters, and then struck out Nolan Arenado for the huge punch out.
It looked like for a couple of hitters there that his control was starting to get away from him a little bit. He was able to regroup and start putting that ball where Cervelli's glove is.
Falls behind Dickerson 2-0. Dickerson also lined out to right fielder Gregory Polanco, his first at bat.
Lots of changeups.
It's a call, and Dickerson not happy with that. Shaking his head. Just a bit off the plate, but close. 2-1. And now 2-2 as Dickerson's follow-through hits Cervelli.
That's the first one of the night, I think. Oh,
got him
man.
good, too.
Got him real good. Oh, wow. Greg. He got smoked.
He did.
Look at him looking
He's
at
not
him.
happy at all either. He not accepting Dickerson's apologies.
Wow.
And Cervelli really wants Burnett to get him now. Buried in the dirt. Lines it into right. Double for Corey Dickerson. He's hit the ball hard 3 times. He's had the best at bats all night against Burnett.
Ball ripped down into the corner. Really such a different place to play for Polanco. 350 feet down into that corner makes for that long throw. Long way to go get the ball, and then a long throw back to second. He's used to PNC Park where he can cut that ball off and really challenge those guys for second base. Not so easy to hit a double.
Tom Murphy hit his second big league home run last inning, a 3-run shot. Playing in his 5th major league game. Couldn't hold. It's 1-1. Tom Murphy, Jay Burnett, maybe nearing the end of his night. One ball, one strike.
Something about the mound he didn't like that time. See, the bullpen is getting ready.
Jared used the right-hander. Antonio Bastardo just really starting to loosen up, and the left-handed hitter Ben Paulson comes out on deck. 2 balls, 1 strike. This is badly there. Tom Murphy out of the University at Buffalo. 3rd round pick, 2012. School that also recently produced Steve Geltz, pitcher from the Tampa Bay Rays. Longtime Expo and Red Sox pitcher Joe Hesketh. 3-1. Murphy from the more central part of the state. New York near Syracuse. 3-1 pitch misses. And now it's 1st and 2nd. Bastardo probably close to being ready. Cervelli going to go toward the mound. Ben Paulson announced as the pinch hitter, left-handed batter. Is Clint Hurdle going to let A.J. Burnett try and get Paulson? Cervelli takes a slow walk back toward the plate. And yes, he's going to let him continue. Burnett does better against left-handed batters. 40 points lower averages for the lefty hitters. You see the good numbers for Paulson off the bench.
It's because of that good changeup. Right.
That's it.
Has to be.
Now Paulson, it's just 194 against lefty pitchers.
He's throwing more changeups than he has curveballs.
That's a first. Fair to say, since he's been a Pirate.
Yeah, I would say so. Normally, this year he's thrown about 30% of his pitches there have been curveballs, and about 5.5% been changeups. That's the difference. That's normally where he sits.
And he has fallen behind 3-0, and on deck Charlie Blackmon. After 2 were out, Dickerson doubled to right, and then the walk to Murphy.
And again, the same kind of thing we saw a little bit last time. The control starting to deteriorate. He's just not able to get that ball where the glove is.
He walks them, and now they're loaded.
And that's going to be it. Well, there's times where it looks like AJ is just fine, that there's really not that much difference, but then you see where it's like he's running out of gas a little earlier than you expect him to, and I think that's being off for 6 weeks. Just the rustiness and not having the normal pitching endurance, maybe.
This point, giving up the 3 runs, 2 earned. With those 3 runners, his responsibility. A double and back-to-back walks. 4 free passes on the night for Burnett to go along with 5 strikeouts. And Antonio Bastardo will look to strand those 3 runners for Burnett.
Bastardo has good numbers, Greg, and I wonder how much that last inning, not this inning, but the last inning, when he had to throw all those pitches, had to do with obviously kind of running out of gas this inning with the control issues cropping up. I mentioned how the 6-week layoff probably something to do with it, but also when you have that real long inning, that can tax you a little bit.
Blackmon almost topples over that aggressive swing.
It's not always the total pitches you threw, but did you have one inning that where you threw like a quarter of your total all at one time? That will take as much out of a pitcher as anything else. And that's the type of inning that AJ had in the bottom of the 5th. And I think that's showing up a little bit here in the bottom of the 6th.
1 ball, 1 strike. Oh, picked by Cervelli, 2-1. They're loaded at third. Corey Dickerson not able to move thanks to the Cervelli pick.
Yeah, when you get a fastball down there, it's just, I got to try and catch it like I'm a first baseman picking it out of the dirt. Really no time to get to your knees in the dirt and try to block it like you would a change-up or a curveball.
Big strike call there, 2-2.
Yeah, big strike call there.
Boy, very favorable.
Everybody booing, and that was a good one to get called. Watch where this one went.
Instead of 3-1, it is 2-2.
Yeah, that's all the difference in the world here. Now, Bastardo, he's got a real good shot at a strikeout pitch.
Hit toward right, Polanco.
Routine.
And they leave them loaded. Charlie Blackmon lines out to right. Pirates lead 6-3.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Cruze and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go, Bucks!
UPMC scoreboard 6-3. Pirates lead the Rockies. Big time Bucco fans right there. A.J. Burnett. A little quick hug from his manager. Fist bumps. Burnett 5 2/3, 3 runs, 2 earned on 6 hits, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. Here is Jason Gurka, who made his Major League debut against the Pirates last month at PNC Park. Turns Neil Walker around.
Well, had some high ERAs tonight so far.
Originally drafted by the Orioles in the 15th round in 2008. Signed as a minor league free agent over the winter. Houston, Texas native Jason Gurka. Neil Walker greeted Gurka with a base hit when Gurka made his Major league debut, first batter he faced in his career. Neil Walker. Third lefty out of the bullpen tonight, or Walt Weiss. He's able to strike out Walker. Get on board with Bucko Baseball for 2016. The Pirates now accepting deposits for full and partial season ticket memberships. You'll get access to exclusive events, the best locations, the best savings. Plus, you can customize your membership. And remember, 2016 full and half season deposits will receive 2015 postseason access. For more information, go to pirates.com/membership. A couple of hits for Francisco Cervelli against the rookie starter John Gray. Michael Morse comes out on deck to pinch hit for Pedro Alvarez. Talked about the challenge for Clint Hurdle when it comes to that first base position, and with Pedro Alvarez, how soon do you get him out of there? He could not have foreseen that Alvarez wasn't going to get another at bat, so he kept him in there, hoping that Alvarez would get one more swing. But as Alvarez comes to the plate with the lefty Gurkha on the mound, he's going to lift the left-handed hitter. So Alvarez goes 0 for 3 and makes that error that I'm sure he's still thinking about. And a regular routine here, the pitching coach going out, in this case Steve Foster, talk about how to pitch to Michael Morse.
Must have a long that was a long talk out there, wasn't it? Scouting report must be as tall as Morse is. Ever watch Morse's practice swing for being such a big guy?
Not as hefty as you would think.
No, it's not.
Right off the mitt of the catcher Murphy.
See if he does it again. Right there.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a big one there. That's
bigger than usual.
Yeah,
he usually does
that's not the one I'm talking about.
It's like a slow motion.
Yeah.
Chop toward third. And 1, 2, 3 for the first time tonight. Bucks up 6-3. next 3 games here at Coors Field in Denver tomorrow night. A couple of lefties. Jay Happ, who's been outstanding since being acquired from the Mariners, opposes Chris Russin. And then it's Charlie Morton against lefty Jorge De La Rosa. Thursday afternoon, Pirates southpaw Jeff Locke against Chad Bettis. Jay Happ goes tomorrow night at 5-2, 196 ERA. Sean Rodriguez takes over at first base. Now it's up to the Pirates bullpen. Joaquin Soria here in the 7th. Antonio Bastardo got that last out in the 6th.
He's got one of those big wide splits also. 343 against lefties.
That's a huge split.
140 something, wasn't it, against the right-handers.
Those are his Pirates split numbers now. Much of the year pitching as the closer for the Tigers.
I think it's become more and more prevalent that I used to think that the more at bats you could have for hitters, that would give you a better read. But I think they're looking more and more now on just like your recent 10 at bats, or you know what I mean, Greg, about those numbers.
In the air to center field, McCutchen will go back and retire Reyes.
Like if somebody had 40 at bats against a pitcher, for instance, you would think, wow, that's really good. You really get a good read. But then I think nowadays what they really are looking at is maybe like the last 10 or so, more than anything else. They're kind of throwing away the ones from 2-3 years ago, which I think has a lot of merit, perhaps. Because hitters and pitchers, they all kind of evolve. So why should numbers that were put up 3 or 4 years ago have any bearing on your decision making today?
When it comes to pitcher splits, you mean?
Yeah, well, in pitcher hitter matchups and all that kind of thing. But like in Soria's case, for instance, where do you put the weight at as far as his splits?
Well, then
the Tiger numbers or the Pirate numbers,
for example,
or do you treat them the same?
Overall, 246 lefties, righties 180, so it's still fairly significant, but not as bad. But then at what point do you decide, okay, maybe recently those are growing, and for example, his Pirate numbers, and as a manager, do you say, well, it'll get back to the level where it was with Detroit?
Yep. And these are the discussions that you used to not really hear or talk about too much in baseball, but the metrics are becoming so important that these are kind of the discussions and decisions that are being made every day.
Didn't hit it hard, but just enough to get it into center field, and Carlos Gonzalez has his first hit of the night. Cargo on base for the second time. Arenado struck out each of his 3 at-bats against A.J. Burnett. 3 of Burnett's 5 strikeouts. Ball, 1 strike. Joaquin Soria facing Nolan Arenado. Pop up. And if someone can get to it, that'll be in play. And Sean Rodriguez and Neil Walker give chase, but not able to make the play.
Yeah, if there's nobody on first base, it's probably an easy out. But you have Sean holding on the runner, so he's got a long ways to go. And Walker cheating over toward the bag, looking for a double play ball. So he had a long run.
Arenado thinks he's done. What a reprieve for him. He gets another opportunity. Oh, and strikes out for a fourth time. Joaquin Soria strikes out Nolan Arenado. 2 outs.
Got him upstairs. Well, wasn't where he wanted it. That was supposed to be in. The ball was almost up and away.
Soria faces Justin Morneau. Morneau 2 for 3. Soria has faced Morneau a bunch in the past. A couple of American leaguers. Morneau 3 for 17. A 176 lifetime batter against Soria. Rooting on the Bucks, 6-3 Pirates here at Coors Field in Denver. Game 1 of 4. That's fouled out of play. Pirates have to win again tonight to stay 2 up on the Cubs, who were 9-5 winners at home over the Brewers, and the Cardinals, who came back to beat Cincinnati. They tied it in the 8th, won it 2-1. Tied it and went ahead in the 8th inning as this ball's chopped foul. Morneau, who was a part of that Pirate playoff run a couple of years ago, at 260. No homers, 3 RBIs after joining the Pirates. As we said earlier, he missed much of this season with concussion issues and a base hit to center. 3rd time he's hit the ball to the left side of the infield. He is 3 for 4.
Yeah, Soria, really a heads-up play. He really is aware of where his infielders are. As this ball goes to the outfield, he right now immediately breaks to third because he realizes there's nobody there to cover third base, playing without a third baseman. So he gets over there to make sure that there's somebody to throw the ball to.
And now 2 on with 2 outs for DJ LeMahieu. It was LeMahieu who hit that ground ball in the 5th inning to Jordy Mercer. Mercer stepped on the bag, a routine double play ball. His throw to first base was dropped by Pedro Alvarez for an error. Ball 1. And a line drive caught by Neil Walker. LeMahieu lines out. 2 men left on base. Head to the 8th. 6-3 Pittsburgh. Off the bat of DJ LeMahieu with 2 on and 2 outs. And Joaquin Soria breathes a sigh of relief. Allegheny Health Network Supermo. Neil Walker goes up to get it. Hard hit ball by LeMahieu. Again, another look at Joaquin Soria. Whew. Well, they leave 2 more. And in the last 3 innings, 8 men left on base for the Colorado Rockies. There's Jordy Mercer against the lefty Jason Gurka. Mercer is 3 for 3. The Pirates inserted apparently Sean Rodriguez in Peter Alvarez's spot of the order. Moore's pinch hit for him, so a left-handed hitter, Travis Snyder, is on deck. Rather than Sean Rodriguez, it'll be Travis Snyder apparently. We'll see. 2-0 count, and we'll see if Mercer can keep a perfect night going. Gurka in a 1-2-3 seventh.
Our guy's still there with the glove.
Yeah.
Now he's directing traffic. He's saying who should get the ball. There we go. Oh, same family. Oh, that's good. They each have one now.
Whoops. Study it.
I won't compare them.
Oh, he wants to throw it. Give the other one. I want to see the other one. Oh, stabbed by Gurka. Two down, or 1 down rather, and Travis Snyder coming to the plate. Point Park University tweet. Pirate fan here at Coors Field. Let's raise it in Denver. Pirate fans here at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado, hoping their Pirates can win and keep pace with the Cardinals. So that is the case. It is Snyder pinch hitting. You have Josh Harrison still on the bench, a right-handed hitter. But going with Snyder here. And a fly ball to shallow center, but Blackman will get to it.
You better have some athletic outfielders in this place. You have to have 3 of them. You can't even afford to have, one guy out there that's maybe a kind of a little bit of a plotter, but he's a slugger. Not in this ballpark. Everybody better be able to run a little bit. I would say our guys would do well here, huh?
Pretty good plays for these 3 outfielders: Polanco, Marte, McCutchen, Jerome. Polanco had an RBI single in the 4th. Starling Marte 3 for 4 in this ball game. Andrew McCutchen.
Slow curveball. Was effective.
Marte is a triple away from the cycle. He will not be facing Gurka. Should Polanco reach, we'll see another pitcher coming on. Wow, rooting for the Bucks on their honeymoon. And popped up. Gurka going to have another 1-2-3 inning. 6 up, 6 down for him. Over the bottom of the 8th inning, Pirates still lead by 3.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, Health for All. By Kenny Ross, Just Ask a Neighbor. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier of the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
Bucks are 6 outs away from winning their 90th game of the year and keeping the pressure on the Cardinals. Don't forget that 3-game series against the Redbirds starting next Monday night at PNC Park. Should be a picture-perfect setting at PNC Park next week. The Pirates and the Cardinals. Love to see you there. 3-game series. Tony Watson now. He faces Corey Dickerson. Tony Watson, it is his 3rd straight outing. 1, 2, 3, 8th innings at Dodger Stadium. Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. Dickerson had maybe the 3 best at bats of the night against A.J. Burnett. A line out to right, a single off the wall and right, a double to right. And 3-1. Dickerson, Tom Murphy, the pitcher spot due up here. Watson follows Joakim Soria. Wow, leadoff walk.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That.
You hate that all the time, but especially here in this ballpark. You got a nice, comfortable lead.
You just don't see that from Tony Watson. Garrett Cole picked up the win yesterday. Number 17, J-Hap goes tomorrow night. And Tom Murphy takes ball 1. Mark Melanson will be pitching the 9th if it stays close. And there's a strike. Broken bat, fly ball to shallow left, but that will hang up. Marte. One down. Willeen Rosario will now pinch hit for Gurka. Good pinch hitting numbers for Willeen Rosario this year. Third stint with the Rockies, a September 1st call up. Oh, and 1. Bounce left side. They will get 1. And get a double play. Mercer to Walker to Rodriguez. Elementary for Deere Watson. As he gets Rosario to bounce into the 6-4-3 double play. Pirates are leading 6-3. They look for more. Going to the 9th inning. Again, we have reached the critical stage of this season. 12 games remain on the regular season schedule for the Pirates.
Running out
after
of time.
Tonight.
Every game is a must-win.
That really is the theme now.
Definitely the theme tonight. St. Louis has already posted their W. Just keep pace.
Here's Starling Marte, a liner into center field, and what a night. Doesn't get the triple, but he does collect his 4th hit. A homer, 2 singles, a double for Starling Marte.
Is that 8 for 11 now in this ballpark?
Yep.
Well, he hit this one all that hard. Ball, the target down and in, the pitch goes up and in. And actually kind of got in on Marte because of that.
Andrew McCutchen, a couple of walks and a stolen base tonight. Brooks Brown, who was in the Pirates minor leagues a couple years ago on the hill for Colorado, and with a step off, he nearly stumbled back. A dozen hits for Pittsburgh. And a pitch out. Looked as though Marte wanted to go, decided against it, and they pitched out. He has 27 steals. Caught 10 times. And that goes to 2-0 now on Andrew McCutchen. How about the note we got from our buddy stage manager Dan Hyatt, as we were wondering whether Marte would be able to collect that triple. This is a place that is well suited for triples and cycles, Coors Field. Almost incredibly, there have been 14 cycles in this ballpark, which opened in 1995. That is second only to Fenway Park. 17 for that historic yard. But no cycle tonight for Starling Marte. He'll certainly settle for 4 hits. Pirates look to add on a 3-0 count. And it's a 4-pitch walk. As Andrew McCutchen reaches again. He has walked 7 times in the last 2 games. 3 tonight. 2 on, nobody out. Well, we hope that the Pirates can reduce their magic number, currently at 3. Any combination of Pirate wins and Washington Nationals, San Francisco Giant losses totaling 3, and the Pirates return to the postseason for a 3rd consecutive year. It's possible that the Pirates will clinch another playoff berth tomorrow night. The Giants and the Nationals did not play. San Francisco at San Diego tomorrow. Washington hosting Baltimore. And ball 1 on Aramis Ramirez. Postponed tonight, the Washington-Baltimore game 1 of that interleague series in D.C. And a fly ball to left, but it is going to hook foul. Plenty of home run distance. Ramirez homered in the 1st over the center field wall.
That was a battle for that one.
Uh-oh.
No, don't do that. They'll throw you out here. They're making an announcement here before the game. You throw home runs back,
You get tossed?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, really.
Yeah, they make a PA announcement before the game starts. They don't want any balls coming back on the field.
1-2 on Aramis Ramirez. So that makes some sense, doesn't it?
Well, when anything, you know, I mean, what if you hit the left fielder with the back of the head with a ball because somebody's throwing it back in?
Of course, you could argue it's been going on forever at Wrigley. And
well, it goes on everywhere now.
Yeah. 1-2 on Ramirez, 2 on No one out. And headed up the middle, and a base hit. Aramis Ramirez brings home Starling Marte. McCutchen races to third. Aramis Ramirez. 2 more ribbies tonight. And a 4-run lead for the Buccos. '74 RBIs now on the year. 32 in 167 Pirate at-bats for Aramis Ramirez. And we're going to have a major league debut here for Keon Broxton. He is going to pinch run for Aramis Ramirez. Justin Morneau having some fun with him as he pinch running over at first base for Aramis Ramirez. Speedster Keon Broxton. Heard Robbie Spakowski talking earlier about coming to the big leagues. Looks like he's using Antonio Bastardo's helmet. Called up today as the Indianapolis Indians season ended on Saturday. 1st and 3rd, no one out. Chopped toward the right side and foul. And now with the 4-run lead, Mark Melancon sits, and Archimedes Caminero starts to loosen as the save situation is taken off the board. Oh, 0-1. And in toward the right side, a nice stop by LeMahieu. RBI for Neil Walker. Makes it an 8-3 game. The broken bat. LeMahieu's only play was to first. Keon Broxton moves to second. And the Pirates lead by 5 once again.
Nice and comfortable lead. 5 is comfortable here.
Oh, I was just going to ask you.
Yeah, I like that. 5 is good.
5, okay.
We can't get 3 outs, 5 runs. It's not because of the ballpark.
Good point.
We're doing something wrong.
Yep. RBI for Neil Walker. 63 on the season for him. And now Broxton breaks for third and steals it easily. And he'll go home with his first big league run. First major league steal. And Keon Broxton scores to make it 9-3. That's a pretty good start to your major league career.
Yep, that's definitely flashing some speed.
Keon Broxton.
Yeah, he was already popping up out of his slide, and that ball went into left field.
Stolen base and an error on Tom Murphy. Oh man, listen to these chants of "Let's go Bucks." Pirates fans all over Coors Field. One ball, one strike. And a roller. Reyes will eat it.
Yeah, nowhere to throw that one.
Cervelli's third hit. 2 of them are the infield variety. It's more smart hitting.
You know, I think the pointing to the helmet has taken over the
heebie-jeebie thing. Yeah.
I think the reason why is because there's more smart hits than there are bullets.
Right. 14 hits for the Pirates. Sean Rodriguez with his first at bat. One ball, one strike. ball, 2 strikes on Sean Rodriguez. 9-3 Bucks.
Chased a pitch under his chin. Where this pitch it goes. Right in on his hands.
Two and two. Bobby LaFramboise, the lefty, joins Caminero. That is out number 2. And it brings up Jordy Mercer. Brooks Brown giving up 3 runs, 3 hits in the inning, and has walked a man. Jordy Mercer has 3 hits and 4 at-bats. The Pirates had a dozen hits, scored 4 runs at Dodger Stadium, a tough pitcher's yard yesterday. Here, hitter-friendly Coors Field, 9 runs, 14 hits.
Well, this is the kind of offense you hope to get coming here. I don't think you can ever expect 9 runs and 14 hits, but you hope that you're going to get up there well above 5-6 runs and in that area. A dozen hits or so.
Starling Marte has led the way.
He'll be back early tomorrow.
Four hits for Marte. And 3 hits for this man at the plate, Jordy Mercer. He looks to match Marte. And indeed he will. A 4-hit night for Jordy Mercer. 3rd career 4-hit game for Jordy Mercer. Mercer with a pair of RBI doubles his first 2 times up. Singled in the 6th. And now a base hit here in the 9th for 4 hits.
That was smart hitting this thing.
Josh Harrison going to pinch hit.
It's like Broxton staying in the game. Huh?
Looks like it. Let me give Andrew McCutchen a half hitting off. $15 hits for the Bucks. And toward right, Carlos Gonzalez makes the catch. The Pirates add on 3 spot in the top of the 9th and lead it 9-3. Pregame show tomorrow as the Pirates and Rockies continue this series. Game 2 of the 4-game set. Jay Happ on the hill for the Pirates. Airtime for the pregame, 8 p.m. Brought to you by W.B. Mason. A.J. Burnett fan.
Yep.
Stand tall for dingers, and Pirates hit 2 of them tonight.
That means go back to the dugout. You just struck out.
Stand tall, and Josh Harrison now at third base.
Isn't that the name of the dinosaur that lives here? Dinger?
Yes, Dinger. Stand tall for Dinger. It's a tongue-in-cheek sign. Bobby LaFramboise. 7th appearance. Looks like we're going to keep that outfield alignment of Marte, McCutchen, Polanco, by the way. Pirates leading at 9-3. And 3 outs away, as we mentioned, from staying 2 up on the Cubs, the top wild card spot, and 4 back of the Cardinals in the National League Central Division. Charlie Blackmon takes strike 1. 3 outs away from 90 wins. There's Keon Broxton, his first major league experience as a pinch runner. Last 5 seasons, the Pirates have won 90 games on a base hit to right. The last 5 times they've done it in 150 games or less, and this is game number 150. 1991, 1979, 1972, the World Series 71 team, and the 1960 World Series team. So 3 of the previous 5 years that the Pirates win 90 within 150 games, they've won the World Series. Bob Walk's team in 1991
didn't quite get there.
Won 90 games in 149. So of those 3 teams, I don't know if I've ever asked you this, and maybe it's obvious, but
the 91 team was the best.
That's what I was going to ask you.
The 91 team was the best. Well, because you had everybody.
Who was
well,
not
you
there?
Still had Bonilla. You still had Smiley. I think won 20 games that year, didn't he? 91.
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, you had
everybody intact.
Yeah, you had the best on paper team in the 91 year for sure. And then 92, the team was starting to fall apart a little bit. You had some defections, but you were still good enough to win the division. Just wasn't really as strong a team on paper. That there was some issues that had to be handled. Wakefield, for instance, came up, gave a big boost there at the end, pitching wise. But the 91 team was better than the 90 or the 92.
How would you compare then the 90 and the 92 teams?
Wow. I would say the 92 team was
better than the 90?
The best of those 2. I'll tell you why. It's just that the 92 team, I think, knew how to win better, if that's a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It knew what it
learned how to do
everybody on that team had gone through it and knew what it took. Everything was so new, really, to the 90 club. It was a little bit, I would say, like this Pirate team a couple years ago. The one that broke the long drought of losing seasons. It was like that. It was like your first shot at it. It would be like comparing this team to the team 2 years ago. You get these guys now have been through it a little bit. They know what it's going to be like when you get into that wild card game. They know the pressure that it would take if we don't catch the Cardinals. They've already know what it's like to get into that first playoff series and what that means and how difficult everything will be. They know what to expect. So they will be, even if they're not better on paper, which I do believe they are, but they will be better just from that experience.
Was there any doubt in your mind that of these 3 playoff teams that the Pirates will have, that this is the best then of the 3?
Yeah. I
basically,
so,
you're going to compare this one to the one 2 years ago, I guess.
Especially, I'll tell you, I would say that would be a hands down no-brainer if you had Jung Ho back. His injury, that really takes a big bat out of the middle of our lineup. But still, because of all the depth you have, you still put up a pretty darn good offense every night.
And that guy with 4 hits, as we have been saying, he could be just such a big part of making up for Gang's loss. If he is able to produce like he did much of the second half of last year, that made him one of the best. You know, you look at the metrics, the offensive numbers, made him one of the best all-around shortstops in the league. Talking there with Josh Harrison, who has swung over to the right side. Ramos Ramirez, what a pickup he has been. And down on strikes goes Cargo. Two outs here in the ninth. And Clint Hurdle is going to go to the bullpen. Andrew McCutchen in the middle of Marte and Polanco discussion. Going over the swings here.
Hitting. Hitters never change.
Just one more bat for tonight, they want. Give me another shot. Be interested to ask Clint Hurdle, and we will ask him tomorrow before the game about deciding to lift La Framboise here with this big lead. And wow! Holy mackerel! That was unbelievable. 100 miles an hour right near Arenado's head. Ooh. Wow! And needless to say, that looks incredibly suspicious.
Well,
I'm just saying it looks like it.
Looks, but
I'm just saying.
But we know better.
I know that, but it looks incredibly suspicious. Of course, we know better. But you just remove a guy, and this the first thing this guy does is throw that pitch.
How about these first two pitches
as
far as the location of the target and the location of the baseball? This would be an interesting game to go back and look at. Watch catchers' targets and how many pitches end up being within a foot of that target. And those are the kind of things that has nothing to do with Coors Field. He's throwing hard. I wonder if the thin air affects the pitcher's velocity to the plus like it does the distance of the ball.
How about raising the Jolly Roger? A 9-3 victory. The Pirates win their 90th.
Yeah, this was a must-win with St. Louis posting that victory really about halfway through this ball game. And they did it. Big offense tonight. What a night for Marte.
4 hits for him, 4 hits for Mercer, and the magic number to clinch a playoff spot for a 3rd straight year has been reduced to 2. A.J. Burnett picks up his 9th win of the season. Starling Marte, a home run, an RBI double,